good. Maybe we can get up introduce yourself to us.
I'm Caleb. I live in Victoria, Caleb Beyers, and make stuff. It's all files and paper stuff.
And how do you make stuff?
With an X-Acto knife and pencil, and sometimes with pictures off the internet or off videos. Or it kind of depends on what the concept is and what the project is. I just figure out what I need to do and teach myself what I need to do and think what I sort of see I need to make.
So we convinced the Victoria International Arts Symposium to make you part of the tour. We're number 9 on the tour, and I'm just wondering, their theme is the artists of conscience, and we got you to write a little sort of a 50-word introduction to your stuff, and they said, yeah, sure, that's an artist of conscience. So maybe you can describe a little bit about what your piece here is about, and why somebody would accept it as a socially conscious statement.
Well, I think it kind of it is about the idea of air travel as a luxury and something that Westerners take for granted as something that they can just do, when in reality it's a luxury, and the large part of the global population doesn't have access to air travel. And I think that air travel as we know it generally cuts us off from any cultural experience and makes it so that we can go from one isolated, quote-unquote, Western sphere to another, quote-unquote, Western sphere, wherever it is on the other side of the planet. Like, people could say, hey, I went to India, and, went on vacation, but in actual fact, they could have just flown to India and stayed in a resort and had no sort of real cultural experience and no sort of interaction with people who are in touch with what it means to be an Indian and what it means to be, a person living in an entirely different geography. And I sort of tried to caricature that by putting a really decadent ballroom scene inside airplane. I think it was just kind of a way to emphasize the exclusivity of air travel. The fact that, like I said, most of the people on the planet can't fly because they can't afford it. So there's not tons of skeletons. Well, the skeletons are kind of like, I studied, when I was in university, I studied Vanitas paintings for a while, and they're paintings that were made by Dutch Puritans when they first started coming into wealth. Holland became a major merchant country, and they started making a lot of money, but they had these really Puritan roots, and they kind of despised and loathed the fact that they got all this money, so they would paint these paintings of themselves, really dark and creepy portraits of their families. And Vanitas paintings were always characterized by skulls, snuffed out candles, dead birds, spilt wine, rotting fruit. So all these images of kind of death and decay. And then on the back of the paintings, oftentimes they would have a skull painted. And they would hang this painting on the wall, and they would know that they were wealthy enough to have this painting commissioned, which is something that not anyone at that time, nor anyone now, can really do, is have a really fancy portrait commissioned of their family, and only they would know that the skull was on the back. So every time they looked at this painting, they would see the skull, and it would sort of remind them of the fact that their material possessions were ultimately for naught, because they were just going to die anyways. That was kind of one of the ideas behind putting the skeletons in the top.
How did you get the scale so bang on with all the engines and wings and people inside the plane?
Well, it's not really bang on. It's
pretty good though. I was sure if I tried to cut something out like that, it would turn out like that.
You know what? Well, part of it is luck, and part of it was that I drew a little sketch. It was small, it was a tiny little sketch, but I sort of knew that I wanted the plane to be fatter than a normal plane, and I wanted the hinges to be fatter. And I just started with the midsection, just this part here, and I just made it over the course of a few days, and then without the stuff in it, I just made the kind of the circular structure, and then just built on from that, and knew what it was going to look like from the side. I just started cutting the pieces out. I've built planes or model planes for a long time, so.
That random balloon was pretty big.
The
random balloon.
The random balloon? Yeah. This stuff was kind of a pain, feeling that the skin of the plane was very time-consuming.
How long did it take?
You know what? I have no idea. Probably in the neighborhood of 150, 200 hours. Like, it just kind of... it really became just a part of something I did every day. And I would have friends over, and I would sit on the floor and cut my paper out, and they would hang out and talk to me. And I don't watch TV or anything, so it's not like I had to do stuff. Do something that I already did in order to make this. It was just something I like to do. And if I got stuck on something, like the wings were pretty difficult in terms of figuring out exactly how I was going to make them and how the geometry would work. And so I just didn't make them for a while and started downloading pictures of people dancing. And then kind of went back to the wing after it kind of bounced around in my head for a while, and had, I kind of solved some of the problems in making it, and then just went out to start cutting out pieces. And it's funny, like a lot of the problems that I encountered in making it were just kind of solved in cutting and drawing and folding little bits of paper and doing smaller versions of it and seeing if it works. So I'm going to get